Welcome back, Harbor Hawks Nation, to another episode of your favorite show on YouTube, the Parking Lot Preview. I'm Mike Maynard alongside Matt Coates. We got a beautiful day for baseball today. The Hyannis Harbor Hawks taking on the rival Cotuit Kettleers, Matt. This is going to be one of the biggest games of the season to this point.
For sure, one of the biggest games of the season, Mike. But before we go any further, let me address the elephant in the room. For those of you mathematicians at home, you are correct. This is my first time not wearing a polo on the parking lot preview. That's because, Mike, today, August 1st, this we're both wearing, we didn't plan this, by the way, the 2023 Hyannis Harbor Hawks postseason shirt on the back, where you can't see, built for August. It's August 1st. This Harbor Hawks team is built for August, built for a playoff run. And tonight is essentially a playoff game, heading to Lowell Park to face the Cotuit Kettleers, who are currently first in Western Division. But Mike, if we win, the crown belongs to us.
It's a huge game. You mentioned it. Coming down to the wire here. 4 games left. 2 home, 2 road. On the road tonight. This is a huge game. Battling for that first place spot to get that first seed. Then you play the 4 seed, get home field advantage for that first game and second round if you can make it there. So definitely huge game, big playoff implications tonight. You mentioned the records are great. The records overall between the two teams have been great for Cotuit. Not for Hyannis so far. 1-3 against the Kettleers, Matt. What's happened through those 4 games?
Yeah, like you mentioned, 1-3. Unfortunately, already lost the season series. But it's all right because we're still clearly competitive with them with a chance to jump them tonight. The one time we won was here at McKean Park, that 14-4 victory that we've talked about a few times. But Mike, the last time we went to Lowell Park, you got a flashback all the way to June 21st for that game. That was a shortened game due to lighting because Lowell Park does not have lights. That game at the time, I believe, was 5 o'clock start time. It was later, and then we weren't able to get the full 9 innings there. Took a loss. Since the All-Star break, they have moved their home games up to 4:30. So all these games matter. It's important. They want to give each team a chance to play a full 9 innings, Mike. So while we lost the season series, it's one of those things that really doesn't matter. You just head into this game, tunnel vision, focus on your opponent in front of you.
Got to be a goldfish. Goldfish memory.
Blinders.
Hopefully today, though, looking at the sky, I'm squinting because the sun is out today.
Oh, yeah.
Not a lot of clouds, so we should not hopefully worry about darkness tonight, knock on wood. But you mentioned it. 4:30 start, different for each Harbor Hawks. Haven't really got the chance to play that early. Maybe that messes with the routine. Hopefully everybody went to bed early last night. Tough to get to bed early after a Chatham game where you're driving all the way home at a 7 o'clock start. But anyways, we'll talk about that Chatham game now. Why not? Tough game for the Harbor Hawks overall. Battled a little bit at the end to make a comeback attempt, but it was really just one bad inning, surrendering 8 runs for the Harbor Hawks that kind of set them back and just unable to come back. Matt, just overall not a great game for the Harbor Hawks, one that you can maybe find some positives in, but a 10-7 loss against Chatham, not necessarily a game that you're super happy about looking back.
Definitely not happy about it. A very weird game is how I looked at it. But Mike, the one positive you saw from that game that we've seen all year is that these Harbor Hawks are resilient. They could have rolled over. It was 10-7 heading into the top of the 9th inning.
10-3.
10-3, excuse me. Yeah, you're right. We finished 10-7. Thank you for the clarification. But put up a 4 spot in that top of the 9th inning because they're a very resilient group. Mike, the game gave me flashbacks a little bit, not exactly the same. Towards July 3rd, when we played the YD Red Sox, game we were getting no hit heading into that 9th inning. We were down 4-0 at that point, and 2 back-to-back homers to lead off that frame. Put us right there in a chance to tie the game and then eventually maybe win it. It was the same thing last night. 10-6 game, Mason White at the plate with the bases loaded. He almost was a few feet away from hitting a grand slam and sending us to the bottom of the 9th. Fortunately, he hit a very deep sacrifice fly, and then the Hawks were not able to get any more runs after that. But Mike, look, at this point in the season, losses are going to happen. It's a tough one, and I think you just flush it. Like you said, that goldfish memory. Head on over to Cotuit and get ready for this one.
You talk about the Harbor Hawks' determination in that game was definitely something that you like to see. Hopefully they're determined to move on from that one as well, because obviously it's a tough loss to swallow, but you mentioned that there's positives there. And definitely, they were that close.
Oh, yeah.
Mason White almost had enough juice in that swing to get it over the fence, and then Blake Cavill comes up right after that, and Blake Cavill comes up right after that, and he smoked one right at the first baseman. Just unfortunate. We got the bus pulling up right now to come pick up the players and head over to Cotuit, which means we got to move on. We got to get things going here.
Oh, yeah.
This preview's got to get moving. Hopefully you can still hear us. If you can, I'm so sorry. That bus is quite loud. But anyways, Cotuit last night, Matt. What happened for their game? They were at home last night. What happened in that game?
Mike, a very interesting loss for them. They lost to the 5 seed in the East currently. That's your Orleans Firebirds. Tough 3-0 loss for Cotuit. Very shocking to see a team like the Kettleers get shut out there. But it's a tough game overall. We mentioned situational hitting so much on this program. They only got out hit 6-5. Clearly, though, those 6 hits for Orleans came at the proper time. But those 5 Cotuit hits didn't necessarily come at the right moments. They get shut out there, lose a tough game. Same thing I think that we want the Harbor Hawks to do in their approach. I think the Cotuit Kettleers will want to do. That's going to be flush their last game and focus on this matchup.
Definitely not one that they're looking at as something that's indicative of how their season's gone to this point. Obviously, the number 1 seed in the Western Division, definitely they're capable of much more than that. You have an off game sometimes. Now, hopefully, you're trying to, at the end of the season here, kind of limit those to a minimum. But it happens, and luckily for them, it wasn't playoffs, it wasn't the wild card round. They can just eat that loss and keep moving. Now we got a garbage truck driving by. It's quite loud here at McKeon Park parking lot in the pregame. But regardless, definitely a game that they want to forget. Shutout, though, would be a great thing for the Harbor Hawks to replicate tonight with Chandler Dorsey on the mound, Matt. Tell me about Chandler. What can we expect out of him in this matchup tonight against the Kettleers?
Yeah, Mike, Chandler Dorsey, a player that's relatively new to the Cotuit Kettleers. Oh, whoa. Hyannis Harbor Hawks, excuse me, I'm so sorry.
Wow. Chandler.
That's a cardinal sin on my part. For the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, however, he's a very good pitcher. The 6'4" right-handed pitcher is going to be transferring to LSU to play SEC baseball this coming season. Past 2 years, he played for USF. Eric Snow, USF.
They both left. Both on
USF,
bigger,
they both left.
Both on to bigger and better things.
Both playing SEC ball. No shade to USF. We love you
No.
guys. But so far in Cape, only 2 appearances, no starts, 4 1/3 innings pitched, Mike. 0.00 ERA, 8 strikeouts, only 2 walks, and only 3 hits allowed. So he's gotten right into it right away. That was a good.
That was an unbelievable snap.
Very good snap. I don't think I'll ever have a better snap in my life. And
hopefully the microphone picked that.
Hopefully Chandler Dorsey never has a start so good that it's impossible to ever have a better start than the one he has tonight against the Cotuit Kettleers.
We would love to see that. Now, hopefully he's able to replicate it if he needs to come in the playoffs. That would be ideal. But definitely mentioned a big matchup tonight. Getting this guy the start, which he hasn't done so far, hasn't done it in his collegiate career to this point. 26 appearances at school at USF, 0 starts. So we'll see how that difference in preparation can affect his game, hopefully in a positive way. But you mentioned it, 0 ERA, 8 strikeouts over 4 1/3. I mean, you can't really ask for much better than that.
No, can't.
So definitely a guy, that Coach Carricker knows. He's trustworthy. He's shown that he can have success here in this level of baseball, and putting him out there tonight in a big game, must win for the Hawks. On the other side, though, Cotuit, a guy a little less experience, which is crazy to say.
Yes.
He has experience in summer, but not necessarily in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Matt, tell me about Taylor Say. We don't know.
Taylor Say, 6'2" right-handed pitcher at Texas State. So he pitched at Texas State this season. Not a lot of experience there. 19 1/3 innings pitched through 25 appearances and no starts. 6.05 ERA, 17 Ks, 16 walks. Then this summer started in the Texas Collegiate Summer League and did very well there. 17 innings pitched over 5 appearances with a 3.71 ERA, and now over here in the Premier Summer Baseball League, the Cape Cod Baseball League. So far, he has 1 start, 5 innings pitched, only 1 earned run allowed, only 2 strikeouts, 5 hits, no walks. So a very interesting stat line through 1 appearance. Obviously a small sample size. But the one thing I want to point out, 5 innings pitched, only 2 Ks. So not necessarily a guy who's relying on those strikeouts. But he only allowed 1 earned run via the homer when doing so. So clearly he's trusting his defense. able to navigate traffic, giving up 5 hits and getting out relatively unscathed. So going to be interesting to see here a pitcher who has played a bunch of different places over the past 12 months. I'm sure he has a lot of experience. Take advice, opinions from a bunch of different people, put them together here. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes out and does tonight. If his last start was any indication, I'm sure he'll do quite well. But like you said, Mike, not very experienced on Cape, so we can't very accurately predict how he'll do.
Well, you mentioned his lack of strikeouts.
Mm-hmm.
So he obviously pitches to contact.
Yep.
But he's not walking a lot of guys either.
No.
So this guy's going to fill the zone a lot, I think, tonight. And we should be in for, hopefully, a lot of balls in play, which with this Harbor-Hawks lineup, which has a lot of speed up and down the order, hopefully that pays dividends. Hopefully they can get on base and then use that speed to also steal some bases. We saw a few times last night. Stolen bases here and there. Definitely a big part of this Harbor-Hawks team. When the team is having success, they're playing that small ball, working those infield hits, stolen bases, bunting people over, just manufacturing runs any way possible. So definitely should be looking out for that tonight. We'll see how things play out. Now, we got to get into our player of the game picks. Some of those guys that hopefully will be manufacturing some runs in any type of way. Matt, I'll let you start us off. Player of the game tonight against Cotuit Kettleers. Who we have?
Yeah, Mike, obviously tonight's a big game. And when the lights are bright, the stars shine even brighter.
No lights.
When the metaphorical lights are bright, the stars shine even brighter. And so if we're going to win this game, we're going to need some star power from our better players. One of our better players since day one, Cotuit Kettleers. You can take your logic here. Left-handed bat against a right-handed pitcher. Obviously a favorable matchup. He got the night off yesterday, so he has never had 2 nights off in a row, so I'd be shocked if he was out of the lineup. Expect Cotuit Kettleers in the lineup, potentially in the leadoff spot, somewhere in that top third for sure. I think he's going to have a great game. Still technically in a bit of a slump. Hasn't had much time since that All-Star break where he had a few down games beforehand. I think he's still going to take the momentum from that walk-off hit. He's one of our better players. He knows it. The team knows it. If we're going to win tonight, it's going to start with Cotuit Kettleers.
I love your thought process there. I love that you're talking about a walk-off. I love that you're talking about a guy that got a night off last night. That really just sets me up to talk about Dalton Bargo, who got the night off last night and has hit more than one walk-off this year.
Wow.
So definitely love to see Dalton Bargo, my player of the game pick tonight, hopefully come up big. We've seen him come up big in these big moments. You actually picked him yesterday, didn't get the start, but you mentioned played for Tennessee, got those big games, big moments under his belt. He knows
big rings.
He knows exactly how to play in those big moments, knows exactly how to prepare at a high level. He'll be ready to go. There's no moment too big for these guys, especially these guys that are playing in those big games at school. So I love Dalton Bargo to have a big game. We've seen him show power. We've seen him show contact. We've seen him play great defense behind the plate, over at third, in the outfield, at first, whatever. I love Dalton Bargo to have a big game tonight against the Cotuit Kettleers in a big game, maybe the biggest game of the season so far. You can book it here on Parking Lot Preview. Now we have to get our final segment out of the way. That's going to be our score predictions. I haven't thought about it at all, Matt, so I'm going to kick it to you. Hopefully you're prepared, unlike me. What's going to be tonight's score?
Yeah, Mike, tonight it seems like it's going to be a battle of two Titans, exciting, blow-for-blow type of affair. I think the game is going to live up to the hype. A bit on the lower scoring end, maybe middle, but it's going to be a one-run game. It's going to end up being a 5-4 Hyannis Harbor-Hawks victory, and a little bonus pick here. It will go a full 9 innings. I know last time I said we didn't get the full 9 inning against the Cotuit Kettleers at Lyle Park, but tonight we will, and tonight we're going to win 5-4.
Love that. I'm going to also say it's going to be a very close game. I'm going to go 2-run deficit. I'm going to say 8-6 Harbor-Hawks tonight. A little bit more high scoring than you.
Yep.
I think the bats will get going. Obviously, two pitchers that don't have a lot of experience on Cape, but have shown a lot of success. So I don't know how deep they'll be able to go into this game, but hopefully the bats get going, especially for the Harbor-Hawks. We're in for an interesting game. Regardless of how things go, I guarantee you this game's going to be close. Both these teams want to win this game. Both these teams know how important it is. They'll be prepared to do whatever it takes to come away with a W in that column on the far left when you're looking at the record. Anyways, only time will tell. We got to find out. If you want to find out, come on down to Lowell Park in Cotuit. If you can't come, that's okay. Check out the broadcast right here on the Harbor-Hawks Baseball Network on YouTube or Cape League TV on Huddle. We thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your evening. We'll see you next time.
Go
Go
Hawks.